Teaching preschoolers about rhythm is a critical part of Phonics for nursery. And this is a super simple explainer video where you'll learn everything you need to teach this critical pre-phonics skill spectacularly well. Keep watching right to the end of this video for some brilliant books and some great games for developing an awareness of rhythm with your 2, 3 and 4-year-olds. Like these other popular videos on this channel, this is a sneak peek into my high-value, action-packed, ready-for-reading online course, which is perfect for everybody working on phonics for nursery. It's an instantly accessible online course with over 5 hours of training videos, heaps of new ideas, and tons of top tips. You can find out more about that in the description below. So let's get started learning all about rhythm and why it's key to our success when we're working on phonics for nursery. So why do we learn about syllables when we're in preschool, or start to develop an awareness at least? Developing an awareness of syllables helps children to understand that spoken words aren't just labels for actions or objects. To start with, we might learn that a picture of a fox matches the word fox, or a picture of a dog matches the word dog. But in the end, we've got to learn that these words like dog and fox are actually made up of spoken sounds. And it's the syllables and the rhyming in words which helps us to move that learning forwards. And developing an early awareness of syllables helps children to be able to break these sounds down into manageable chunks. This is part of phonological awareness. Phonological awareness is really just a term which talks about children being able to tune into the fact that language is made up of sounds and blocks of sounds rather than just being to do with labels. And before children can develop this phonological awareness, they've got to be able to understand that words are labels first, and also make sure that they've had lots of opportunities to move rhythmically to music. Because a lot of syllable awareness and phonological awareness when children are young is just to do with hearing the patterns in language in stories, songs and games. If they've not previously been able to label objects or move rhythmically, they're going to find this too much of a big step. So make sure that they've had at least some opportunities to be able to engage with that kind of stuff and are well on their way before you start this kind of work. One of the first things we need to do with children at developing phonological awareness and awareness of syllables is to clap a steady beat. This is why we join in with clapping during times when we sing, or if we read stories or rhymes, or when we play games. I bet you do this all of the time, and you probably haven't been thinking about this being a pre-phonics skill. This idea of clapping a steady beat is super important when we're thinking about syllables, because if we can't clap a steady beat, then when I start to get the children to think about rhythm, it's going to be so much harder because we've missed that pre-step. So make sure also, as well as knowing that words are labels and having joined in with lots of rhythmic activities, that children have had lots of opportunities to clap a steady beat. And stories, songs and rhymes with predictable and pattern language are part of this learning too. So you want stories and rhymes where there's lots of repetition, the same phrases are repeated over and over again, and also lots of rhyming books fall into this category. And think about how you can build this into your day-to-day work. This was a simple activity that we did in school where we set up a bus in the outside area, a very basic bus, and we played the wheels on the bus for 4 hours non-stop and just singing the song endlessly. So this doesn't need to be something that you do in key worker groups or even that you do in circle time. This can be something that you are doing all day, every day, and I bet you're already doing a lot of this. Another thing that you need to think about is clapping patterns, because these are super important for developing an awareness of syllables. So often we think about clapping patterns as being something that we would do to stop the children at a point of transition to get their attention. But actually, when we're thinking about patterns and pattern language and developing awareness of rhythm, what we need children to be able to do is clap patterns and copy them back. So I might start with a very basic pattern like, can the children listen to it, remember it and repeat it. Then if they can do that, maybe I need to make it a little bit more complicated. Can they listen to that, remember it and repeat it? Then can I make it a bit harder? Can they listen to it, remember it, repeat it, and keep making those simple patterns more and more complicated, and do this over and over and over again. What we want children to do is to be able to hear something, hold it in their short-term memory and create that mental picture of it and repeat it. They're not going to be very tuned into syllables if they can't do this step first. So this is also, along with clapping a steady beat, another phonological awareness activity that's going to be super, super helpful for your preschool and nursery age children. So what are syllables? We often think of syllables as beats in a word. Each beat we hear is a syllable. So my name is Emma. Emma. Or I might think of cup, cup. I might think of somebody coming to the front door, doorbell. I'm going to the shops, I need my car, car, and a bag, bag. And I might be doing some work and that will be on my laptop. So all words are made up of syllables. They're chunks of sound in words, and syllables are parts of words which contain a vowel. So every vowel has a syllable attached. So if I was to go back over those examples again, I might think my name is Emma, Emma. We've got two vowels in my name, E and A, which is why it's a two-syllable word. I also said the word bag, bag. That's got one syllable or one beat because there's only one vowel. That's an A. I also said laptop, laptop. That's got two vowels in it. Lap, A, and top, O. Doorbell, two syllables. Car, car, one syllable. This is what syllables are. They sound a bit like beats in words, and we can play these in really, really simple ways. We can also use games involving animals. So let's have a go now. How many syllables is in the word sloth? Sloth. One. There's one vowel in the word sloth. There's a parrot. How many syllables do you think are in the word parrot? That's right, there's two vowels, so parrot. How many syllables do you think are in elephant? Elephant. Three vowels, three syllables. Chameleon. How many syllables do you think are in chameleon? Chameleon. Four. See, four syllables. So you can see it's quite straightforward, and you've probably been clapping these words without even thinking about the word syllable. Which animal am I clapping? We've got a fox, one syllable, a penguin, two syllables, and a polar bear. Here's the first clue. I'll give you the clue again. Two syllable. Which could it be? Penguin. I'll give you another clue. Listen carefully. Give you another clue. Okay, which was it? Was it the fox, the penguin, or the polar bear? Yep, you were right. It was the fox. Last one. Here's the clue. The clue one more time. Was it the penguin, the fox, or the polar bear? There he is, the polar bear. So this is so much easier than you would think. All we're doing is clapping the syllables or the beats in the words. And we've done that up until now with single words. Let's try and do it with a sentence. Let me show you what I mean. Go outside and put the bin out. Your turn. Go outside and put the bin out. My turn. A goldfish is swimming in the pond. Your turn. A goldfish is swimming in the pond. We're going on a bear hunt. We're going to catch a big one. Your turn. We're going on a bear hunt. We're going to catch a big one. So you can see where having practice of clapping patterns and clapping a steady beat plays really easily into this. You can also start to see that those books that you've been reading to the children year in, year out, day in, day out, how the syllables create the patterns of language in the books. Because it's the syllables that are creating those patterns in our stories, songs and rhymes. These are brilliant for helping children to remember and join in more easily, and it makes them feel like they're already getting somewhere because the stories are so patterned that they get to join in with the "we're going on a bear hunt." They pick it up really quickly because it's kind of singy-songy and repetitive. So syllables are what creates the rhythm in these repetitive and rhythmic stories, and they're brilliant for building that confidence in children. Remember, we are not expecting the children to know or understand the term syllable or even what a vowel is. We need to know it so we can create the beats or the syllables, but they don't need to know it. We need to know these though so that we can help them to clap out the right beats in stories and songs and rhymes and games by joining in. That's all we're expecting them to do. First of all, clap a steady beat, and then clap a simple rhythm. So what have we learnt so far? Developing phonological awareness is a pre-reading skill because it helps children to be aware of spoken sounds in words. An early awareness of syllables helps children to hear big chunks of spoken sounds in words, and these can be created by syllables. Syllables create the rhythm in stories, songs and rhymes. First, children need to be able to clap a steady beat by joining in with rhythmic stories, songs and rhymes. Syllables are created by the vowels in words. These create the beats we hear in language. The children don't need to understand the term syllable at this stage. They just need to begin to hear syllables as beats in words. And joining in with rhythmic activities is brilliant because it builds confidence and memory. So there you have it. Everything that you need to know about teaching rhythm and why it's so important when we're teaching phonics for nursery. And books with repetitive and rhythmic patterns are the perfect place to start. Here are just some of the brilliant books for introducing rhythm in preschool, and they're all linked in the description below with my free downloadable Pre-phonics Booklist. And if you can't wait to get started with rhythm in preschool, then these super simple games on this channel are also linked in the description. There are so many super successful ideas to help you get started straight away. And if this Phonics for Nursery mini training has been useful, don't forget to give it a quick thumbs up, subscribe and click the bell to be notified for more videos just like this one. And let us know how you got on. We'd love to hear from you. See you soon.